Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview Sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
Do you want to become insanely successful? Do you want to be the go-to guru in your industry? Do you want to be talked about for all the right reasons? For over 40 years, Kevin Harrington has helped people just like you become significant influencers. Now he's broken the process down in the Key Person of Influence roadmap, and it's yours for free. Just text KPI to him at 727-888-2100. Text KPI to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free step-by-step guide. Text KPI to 727-888-2100 to get the recognition you deserve and experience the success as the go-to voice everyone listens to in your industry today. Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Greene. With me, as always, is the inventor of the infomercial and the original shark on the hit TV show Shark Tank, Kevin Harrington. Kevin, thanks so much for being here.
Excited to be here, Seth. Fantastic. I know we got a special guest today, too. So.
We do. We're going to be talking to Hanna Horenstein of Virtuity Financial Partners. Hanna, thanks for joining us.
Hi, thank you.
So, Hanna, what is Virtuity Financial Partners?
It's a good question. So Virtuity is a co-brand that we have for our team with World Financial Group. So I've built a business here over the last 19 years. And so we call ourselves Virtuity Financial Partners.
In World Financial, Hanna, I'm familiar with the company. They provide financial type of services. I mean, I don't know what the best way to describe that is, but I know they are in ultimately the insurance business, helping people plan for their future and things like that. So what are the types of services that Virtuity offers as part of a World Financial umbrella?
Well, we are a full service financial services company, and we also focus on entrepreneurial opportunities as well. Whereas we help people, start their own business, and we have a proven system that's, pretty much been, creating successful entrepreneurs for, over 2 decades.
So in addition to the business of giving investment and financial advice and helping people with those products and services, you're also in the business of helping people get into the business and helping them become advisors to help others, correct?
Correct. Yes.
And I think that's a great opportunity. I mean, I come out of a business model where in the early days, I was actually in the franchising business. We sold franchises, fast food franchises, you name it, every kind of, whether it be California Closet, Subway, sandwiches. These were franchise opportunities that would cost anywhere from $250,000 to $500,000 to $1 million, some cases $2 million to invest, to own your own business. Whereas Virtuity offers an opportunity really for somebody literally for under $1,000 to start their own business and kind of start making money in a relatively short period of time. So that's a pretty cool concept. And how many members are part of your network now at this point?
Virtuity Financial Partners, we have close to 450 life licensed agents. And that's, all over California and other states as well. We're building in Texas and Florida and Georgia and Vegas, Nevada. So we're building all over the country right now.
Now understand, so you help people with financial planning. And when you think about who might need financial planning, there's, one thing that comes to mind are athletes. And I know that Virtuity did a strategic deal recently with the NFL Alumni, for example, right? Mm-hmm. Can you tell us about that deal and the significance of that for your company?
Sure. So we basically, about 2 years ago, developed a relationship with a Hall of Fame football player, previous athlete. And through multiple meetings, he really saw a huge need for what we were doing for former athletes. He had, he's one of those athletes that have done very well after the game. He's an entrepreneur and, wildly successful in other areas. And so he felt like he had some of the best advice out there in the financial arena. And when we had our meetings, I would share with him, bits and pieces of the things that we do and how we're different. And his interest was piqued because he says, in all these years, no one's ever offered me the products that you're offering. Why is that? And he went back and spoke to his own advisors. And, the answers he was basically getting was, yes, those are good products. It's just not our focus. It's not what we do. And so he realized, okay, so these are things that are good for me. But all of the people that I deal with up to this point don't do this. There's a huge need for it. And, that was really the focus of our first, I would say, 8 months of meeting was products and what we do for families, what we do for people, what we could do for athletes. But there was one meeting in particular that we had that was in one of our field offices where there were trophies all over the wall, and kind of like I see behind you, trophies and awards and all these things. And then we also get these Super Bowl type rings when you hit certain income levels. So when you get your first $100,000 in a rolling 12, or $250,000, $500,000, $1 million, $5 million. And he saw these things and said, this is something that would be really good for the former athletes, because when they're on the field, when they're playing the game, people are screaming their names, they're cheering for them, wearing their jerseys, and they're winning. And when they stop playing, as he described it, the music stops and you're no longer, being cheered for, and you're no longer fighting for something, and you're no longer on a team where you have that camaraderie. And so he saw that in our organization, and he says, the guys need this. He says, you need to go and talk to the, NFL alumni. You need to talk to Players Association. You need to talk to these people. And this could be very beneficial for the players. And so we went and met with the NFL Alumni CEO, and they were actually, looking at other financial companies to team up with. And one of the things that they really liked about what we were doing is that we were welcoming clients from all walks of life. So they didn't have to have a certain net worth. They didn't have to invest a certain minimum. We were really looking to help. We were looking to, help find them solutions and offer them the business opportunity. And so that's really how that, transitioned into where it's at right now, where we're now the sponsor and partners for the NFL Alumni. And we're working with a lot of people across the country right now that are, everyone has basically said, we need this. We needed this. This is something that's going to really help so many people. There's enough data out there of what the statistics are for, after the game and what happens. So we're real excited to be able to help those people and fill that need.
What's really cool about that whole story is that when you think about it, you mentioned when they're on the field, they're getting all this, people are yelling and screaming and wearing their jerseys. Now that they're off the field, they're still recognized. They still have a lot of great connections, and they have a Rolodex that's amazing, but many of them just go off in Never Land and don't utilize it. I knew a player. He was a neighbor of mine, and I had a condo in a building in St. Pete Beach, and he was a football player, and he just all day long just sat on his balcony and watched the surf come in. And I'm like, don't you want to do anything? He's like, nope, I'm just sitting here. I don't want to do anything. I'm not, boom, boom, boom. But like he had tremendous network of connections that he could have just opened a Rolodex and maybe explored in a very simple fashion. So I think it's an amazing opportunity for those that have that kind of a background. And this also shows the credibility of Virtuity to pass muster of the NFL and the alumni. And so for anybody out there that is listening and might need some financial services, you know, Virtuity, I know because I ended up, as just in full disclosure, getting involved with you guys myself. And so, you know, I know that it's a great opportunity because my storyline is that I'm in the business of SEM and TV, and all products, they have a peak and then they drop, and it's sort of, I call it a bell-shaped curve. They go in, up, and then hit the top, and then they're done. And so, you know, we take, I mean, you know, funny thing, George Foreman, he had a great run with the grill. It's done, right? Billy Mays, God bless, he passed away. But, you know, people like this, and Jack LaLanne, the juicer, went up, then it's down. There's no residual revenue streams coming in an ongoing fashion. Whereas Virtuity is a model that builds residual income. And for a baseball player, a football player, an NFL alumni, whatever, having residual income is a great opportunity for them to capitalize on the years they spent on the field, right?
Absolutely.
And Virtuity is not just for professional athletes. So let's talk a little bit about some of the mistakes you see. So first of all, there's two aspects to it. There's the consumer aspect of folks getting financial advice. And then there's folks other than athletes who might want to start a business or start their second business. So let's talk about the consumer side just for a minute. What are some of the most common mistakes you see consumers making when it comes to their money?
That's a great question. So one of the things I talk about with my clients is I have a lot of clients that I've been in this industry now almost 20 years. So I have a lot of clients that are, you know, in their 70s or, you know, late 70s, even 60s. And one of the biggest regrets that I see them having is that they didn't use more tax exempt vehicles. So, you know, if you work for a company and you're talking to HR, they're gonna put you into their programs. If you're going to a CPA, they're advising you on, you know, how to save money on taxes today. But they're not talking about what the future is going to look like when you're retired. And so what ends up happening is when I'm meeting with someone who's now in retirement and they're in that distribution phase, especially when they get to 70 and a half, I've never seen so many angry people saying, I wish I did things differently. And so I tell my younger clients that if we already know what the future is going to look like, if we already know how these products work in the future, why get yourself into that mess today if you're not going to like the result tomorrow? There are other options. And so that's one of the things that we work with our clients is, you know, what are the best products for today and for tomorrow? And then the second thing that I see a lot is the clients that, you know, are in their 70s and 80s and they no longer have life insurance. And it's huge because the mantra right now is you're not going to need insurance when you're older. You know, just buy term and invest the difference is what they always say. And that does work for some people, but it doesn't work for everybody. And when I, you know, sit with my clients and they say to me, gosh, Hanna, I've been paying for insurance for 20 years or for 30 years, and now it's run out and, you know, I can't get it anymore. And I still have needs. I still would like to leave a legacy for my family. And had I only done things a little bit differently when I was still insurable or when I could, or when I was younger and it was more affordable, you know, I would be in a different situation today. So these are the conversations I have with my clients is that, you know, again, you know, this might look better today. There might be more data today saying this is what you should be doing, but let's take a look at people that have done that for 20 or 30 years and let's see how they feel. And when it actually runs out and they need it and they still want to leave something to their kids. So, you know, we do everything. I mean, I personally own term insurance myself, but I also have other forms of insurance that will be there, you know, in the future when I actually will, hopefully, if I live that long, hopefully need it. So again, it's looking at things from that perspective.
So Hanna, I think that's great. And I appreciate that. Let's just take an example of someone on the other side of the spectrum, a young person, maybe 30 years old, that says, oh, I'll put $5 a day, a cup of Starbucks, right, away. So into some kind of an insurance program. I mean, what at the age of 30, what will that, if $5 a day, what are they going to have by the age of 70? In terms of, you know, assets? just go, I don't know if your mind can work that quick or not financially, but I mean, it would be interesting for anyone listening just to understand, $5 a day, how much that turns into over time.
That's a great question. And of course, there's so many variables in that answer as to, which product you're using. And we have so many. But I will tell you this, I have seen, graphs and charts. And if you start young enough, if you start, typically in your 20s, you can get away with putting away that little and potentially having, enough money to be able to retire. If you start that young and you put your money into the right place.
There you go.
The challenge is that the longer that you wait, when you get to 30, 35, 40, 45, the number that you actually have to put away increases.
Yeah.
So because you have the time value of money changes. And so many people, at 30 say, I still have time. I'm still young. I'm focused on, buying a house right now or getting, my career started. But, the honest to God truth is the earlier you start, the less it's going to cost you to get to the same goal. So that's always the best advice is, you can't turn back time, but wherever you're at, you need to start now.
So the goal is to be thinking about things when you're in your mid 20s, late 20s, whatever, and plan, hopefully when you get to where you hit 70, where you can retire to have a comfortable living from that point forward and not have to worry about an income at that point.
Right. And by the way, that's a lot where the residual income standpoint comes to. And anyone that's had a lot of success in life will typically say things like, you want to have multiple streams of income. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. These are all concepts that you can read in almost any book. And so you want to obviously be saving your money so that at some point you can have the option whether to work or not. A lot of people say, well, I'll never retire. I'll work till the day I die. Yeah, unless something happens and you can't work, like if you become disabled or, the unthinkable happens. So that's where you definitely need to be saving, but you also need to be looking at other income sources that can potentially deliver a residual income source, a passive income source. So that again, if you can't work, you still have that too.
And then if somebody is successful with Virtuity and they know somebody else that would like to maybe earn a little income, they just refer somebody and then they get an override on the people they bring in, correct?
Right. We have a team building opportunity here. And so when you're a member of Virtuity and you are licensed and then you refer someone to the business, they are essentially on your team. And now there are opportunities for you to, yes, earn an override on everything that they do. That's where the residual income model is so great. I'll give you a quick example. I was on vacation for the last 2 weeks. And, I was literally, halfway around the world, or actually pretty much around the world. And I'm lying on the beach and I'm getting text messages on my phone for deposits going into my bank account while I'm on vacation. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, where did that one come from? Oh, okay, that was a big one. I didn't do anything for that one. And it's because there are other people that I've brought into the business that are helping families. And while they are helping families, I'm earning a percentage of that. And so the more people that you refer, the more opportunities that you have to really build up a substantial income stream from your business.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
All right. For those of our folks who are watching or listening and are intrigued by either the idea of starting a business in the financial services marketplace or in getting some sound financial advice, what is the best place for us to send them?
Best place is to either have them go to our website, which is www.virtuity.com, or they can actually call at 818-402-9396. That's my direct phone number.
Okay, awesome. Hannah from Virtuity Financial Partners, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate the time.
Good having you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Do you need money to fund your idea, product, or service? Are you ready to take your business to the next level but need capital to get it done? Kevin Harrington has heard more than 50,000 pitches and knows how to help you make the perfect pitch to get the funding for your entrepreneurial dream. He's distilled the process down in his perfect pitch cheat sheet, and it's yours for free. Just text PITCH to him right now at 727-888-2100. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free perfect pitch cheat sheet. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 to start funding your dream today.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.